That's all for today's announcements. But there is another big project we're working on that I still want to share with you. You won't have to wait long, as I plan to share more news with you next week on June 24th.
So on June 24th, we got to see that, and it was just something... we didn't really want to see. That big project in the video was Pokemon Unite. Pokemon Unite is pretty much the MOBA game featuring Pokemon characters. Think of it as like a League of Legends game and a Pokemon game smacked together, and now you have a Pokemon League of Legends game, or just a Pokemon mobile game. But anyway, the idea itself sounds pretty cool, and so having a real-time strategy sort of action game with Pokemon characters. The genre itself is pretty popular thanks to League of Legends and with Riot Games, and so this all kind of sounds fine, right? And I think that's a way for many more people to get into Pokemon. So that's itself is fine. But the big problem here, and why people have been rioting against, ironically, Pokemon Unite, was just because this is a mobile game at the end of the day that had its own video presentation, and it was presented as a big project. So that's why it created this ugly uproar, and so the like to dislike ratio should make things obvious as to how the majority feels about that. It just kind of sucks to see, because Nintendo just announced that they're gonna step away from making any more mobile games. I think they're just gonna focus on the ones that are already made, or just really focus on the really popular ones such as Fire Emblem Heroes and stuff like that. But I think even then they're gonna eventually step away from that. But having to see Pokemon Company, which is technically a separate company, even though they are heavily affiliated with Nintendo, they are a second party company under Nintendo. They can pretty much do what they want, I guess, and so they are going ahead with this mobile game, and so that's why having to call it a big project, naturally, because it is big from a business standpoint. I think this is, for the most part, going to be something for China. I believe China has its own sort of universe when it comes to the gaming industry, and they have very different laws from everyone else, and so they have their own business, and it's because of the population within China, they are very big, and there's a lot of gamers even with that population. So that's why companies such as Tencent are making it big for themselves, and so they have been able to really put their name into a number of industries, including the gaming industry. I mean, they pretty much own Riot Games, and guess what? Riot are the ones who make League of Legends, so that's why they wanted to bring that genre into Pokemon, and Pokemon is a big money-making franchise when it comes to the gaming industry, if not the biggest one within the gaming spectrum of things. And so naturally, a company like this would want to have that MOBA popularity and the popularity of Pokemon, and slap them together, and there you go. That's that big project when it comes to the business side of things. So yeah, having to see this as the big project, I personally felt very disappointed. At the end of the day, I wanted to see something like, a Sinnoh remake or another Pokemon Stadium, or something not like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mobile game at the end of the day. I love how they've they now have to slap in the free to start sort of quote in there, instead of free to play. Now I have to say free to start, because a lot of people can take it the wrong way. People think they can play this entirely for free. I can see that in the future of a lot of people getting angry about the microtransactions within Pokemon Unite, and it's going to be ugly, guys. It's especially for those who are kind of naive when it comes to a lot of these gaming genres that tend to kind of try to milk the players of their wallets and stuff. Oh man, it sucks to see when it comes to your favorite gaming franchises, including Pokemon. It's going to be such a bad time. But with all that said, though, I've never been really into the mobile genre. I've always had friends playing League of Legends, and I'm like one of the only people who don't play that sort of genre within my circle anyway. And so and I understand that League of Legends and such, it's a really big market. That itself is a big part of esports, the competitive side of gaming, and it's very popular pretty much around the world, especially within the Asian regions. And so obviously I'm very aware of the sort of worth that League of Legends has, the pedigree that it has. And so having to see this with Pokemon, I shouldn't be surprised at this point. But again, though, this being presented as the big project, yeah, that does leave a very, very bitter and sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, including mine. I wanted to see something different, and it had its own video and stuff. And to kind of talk about the video itself, it was really funny because someone made the observation that pretty much, I think it was the CEO or president that was playing on the Japanese team within that gameplay portion of the video. People have pointed out that his controller wasn't even on, and if you look at his his body language and stuff like that, he's just really super mashing and stuff like that. So I personally think that it was staged. He wasn't really playing, unfortunately. But I don't know, I think that's just the cherry on top of things. That's just how the president feels about Pokemon in this particular case. I don't know, man. It's just I don't know, it just lacks that heart and passion of Pokemon thrown into Pokemon Unite. It's just gonna be a pure cash cow for the future. So that's just the nature of things, and we're gonna have to get through this. But with that said, though, I would like to try Pokemon Unite, try to have my hand in Pokemon Unite, so that way I have credit for even trying it out. But will I even stick with this? I don't know. Luckily, there's Gengar in there. Gengar is within the roster, so I have something to work with, and I'll give my personal verdict with Pokemon Unite. But will I stick with it? I don't know. It's just who knows how fun the actual game will be. I think at the end of the day, Pokemon Unite should not have its own video, but I'm pretty sure that happened because of Tencent. They really wanted its own video. They got the money, so they pretty much did that. And the Pokemon Company made another video just for a mobile game. So that's just how it goes. That's money talks. That's just my assumption anyway as to how that all happened. But I you can say that makes sense, right? So that's a pretty good prediction or assessment as to how it happened. But anyway, I think it would have had a completely different impression if it was just thrown into that previous Pokemon Presents. If it was thrown in there along with all the other mobile games, people would be like, alright, it's just a mobile game, alright, they're gonna just pass it off and people will try it. It would have been a lot more lenient on Pokemon Unite. But because it had its own video and it was teased as a big project and stuff from the previous video before that, that was what sort of set the fuse for the ugly explosion or uproar from the community. So man, again, I was super disappointed that the big project was Pokemon Unite. I hope that there's gonna be another Pokemon Presents, later in the future, and so we're gonna, hopefully see the actual big project that we want to see, and not the big project that the business side of things want to see. But time can only tell. That is for us to see, and so that's pretty much it for me on my opinion on Pokemon Unite. Just to make things clear, yes, I'm disappointed. Will I give it a try? Yes, I will give it a try. But likely, I'm probably not gonna stick with it for too long, because of the likely microtransactions are gonna make it really ugly and hard to kind of keep up with it, and so I'm probably gonna drop off pretty quickly. So, but I'm willing to give it a chance just to see if the actual game itself is actually fun to play or not. So, is this manageable as a free-to-play player? So. But we'll have to see about that. Time can only tell. We'll have to just see how this all plays out. So, anyways, what do you guys think of Pokemon Unite? I'd love to see those comments down in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It's really important for YouTubers. That's pretty much the most you can do for YouTubers. Really appreciate that, guys. And so that's, again, the Hawke Talks episode on Pokemon Unite, my thoughts about it, and I guess why people feel negative about Pokemon Unite. So I hope there's more to it. I hope there's more projects for us to see in the future, but yeah, we gotta wait on it. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.